Artlysium Exposed. So what we're doing now is I run through some questions. We're gonna do some Q&A. If any questions that you want answers to about Artlysium as a person, as a entertainer, as a business owner, as a entrepreneur, and as an activist. So let's go ahead and start it out.
What do you feel about artists in Arkansas working together and or not working together?
So it's a two-part question. The first part of the answer will be I believe that there are a lot of younger artists in the city and surrounding cities that are working together, and it's basically simple self-preservation. It's the capitalistic way of looking at the world. Everybody wants to make the most money so they can acquire the most things and do the most things. Unfortunately, being from a small city, everybody knows everybody. Everybody kind of have been around one another at least some point. And, this it's kind of a hindrance when you believe that just maybe one situation being around someone, you feel like someone is inadequate just as a person, where they can't create or be something other than what you view them as. So people always seeing what they can do and comparing it to someone else. And so that kind of like holds back everybody else, because everybody wants to do something. And so once they start working, everybody kind of like just watches versus lifting a hand or offering to work together. So that's how I see the artists working together type thing. It's like there's a large group that will, there's a large group that will not. And it's not solely based on experience or, it's somewhat based on popularity, because, if you're popular, you're already getting a lot more people to look at your stuff. So off top, more people want to work with you. So I think that helps, and then it hurts because there could be a person like me, maybe, that's not popular, who wants to work with someone but knows that they probably will not be able to because they are not popular. So I think that holds back a lot of people, which it won't ever affect me or Artlysium or the Artlysium Incorporated or Artlysium Production, because we work with everyone that wants to work with us. To an extent, we've had to turn down a couple I would say clients or associates because of I would say determination and respect. If you're determined to get something done, and you'll get it done, and out of respect, you don't try to rush someone to get something done without a proper plan to actually get it done. So yeah. So
what do you feel like your purpose is as a filmmaker?
So that's easy. So my purpose as a filmmaker is to tell stories that I've always wanted to see played out on screen. Kind of like stories that always touched on certain things I wanted to see but didn't really dive into it. It was always like an additional type of piece to any movie. So some of my most favorite movies have like certain things in it that makes me like really like it or love it and be in depth, and sometimes it's not what the movie is about. So it's like, dang, I wish they would have expanded on that part of it or this part of it. So that's my purpose as a filmmaker, is to explore those ideas that I wish other people would see or try to expand on. And all of my films are about mental health or some type of psychology. I think that's my lane, and that's probably where I'm going to stay. Psychological thrillers, horror, fantasy, and drama. Still want to do romance. Still have hopes to do more comedy. This new film we have is a comedy thriller. But definitely want to do a family comedy. I have one in the works, so that's gonna be fun. All out comedy, none too hard to complete. But yeah, that's my purpose as a filmmaker, is to touch on things that I feel like need to be told.
With Inclination being in its final stages, what do you feel is the purpose of the film?
So, to answer that properly, I would first have to explain Inclination as a whole, and then that way it'll kind of self-explain the purpose and goal. So, ultimate goal, we'll start with the synopsis. Inclination is a story about a man suffering from a mental illness. It's maladaptive daydreaming, where he knows he's dreaming. When you suffer from maladaptive daydreaming, it's not so much suffering as it is existing or experiencing or living in the moment that's not really happening. So it's like you're living in the moment, but there's actually things going on around you that's really, really happening, and it's a task to stay focused on things that are happening around you that's not exciting you. So you could be maybe you work at a desk job, maybe you work at a call center, maybe you work in sales, maybe you work in just cashier at Walmart. Wherever you work, whatever you do, even if you don't work. So if you find yourself drifting into really, really deep dreams about just anything that may have happened or may not have happened, and you start to think so much where you're like, am I just adding on to the story, or am I recalling things that really happened? So that's what our main character is suffering with. He's losing grip on reality, and he's knowing it's happening. He's seeing it happening, and he's enjoying it. It's all in one. He knows it. He's aware of it. He's afraid of it because of the types of things that he's allowing himself to think about and to dive into. So once you start to underline the message, you start to uncover what's really going on, because schizophrenia is when you can't control your thoughts and you see things. It could be hallucinogenic, or it could just be mental. So you could either actually see these things, or you can actually visualize these things, and then you would see it. So that's what he's going through. He's not schizophrenic because he's able to function and work his day job, but he's not able to stop himself when things become, I guess, less interesting. He makes them interesting with his thoughts. So that pretty much trickles him into a work environment that's not appreciative, and that forces him to let go of some of the things that is helping him alleviate some of the daydreams and some of the unfocused moments, and when you're out of touch with your reality. So that's what he's going through. So throughout the story, it's kind of like a love story. It has some elements to it where the two main characters, played by Dre and Olivia, they play two characters who went to college together, and now they're rekindling a relationship that never was, but could have been at the call center. So they're kind of like, hey, we work together now. I haven't seen you in a long time. You're single, I'm single, so let's see what could be. Just because we're at a different stage in life, so things are different. So that also plays out throughout the story too. So it's a couple different storylines. Inclination is set for a November release. I think the ultimate goal is to just basically have a lot of fun, to show that if you believe in your thoughts, then you could pretty much control your destiny. In the trailer, it talks about life and death being a choice or a decision, pretty much if you're not able to make decisions in life, then it ultimately makes the choice for you. So it's kind of like, hey, you know you have to wake up at 6 in the morning to make it on working time, but you get up at 7:30. So it's just like, hey, your decision was made by the choices you made, and you didn't make the right choice to get up, so the decision was you were going to be late. Yeah, that's the ultimate goal, is to explain mental health in the way where people who are actually going through these things, who may not have anyone to explain it from a creative aspect. So all of my films will be about mental health. The very first one, the very first film I made was Cogitation, and that was about pretty much a character having like a very obsessive admiration for his psychologist, where he believes that she loves him, and they have a relationship together, that they're more than just patient-doctor relationship. That he believes that they are going to live the rest of their life together, and they're going to talk every single day, and that's not going to happen. So so that's what the first film is about. It's about him being too attached, and also having split personalities, where he believes he's a superhero. So that's the first movie. And the second one was Mother Malice. Mother Malice was basically about a little girl who learns how to kill from her mother. Mother teaches her how to kill people effectively. And so that's, in itself, it was like a not a really developed storyline or anything. It was we wrote out a whole bunch of names of genres to get ready for the 48-hour film festival. We took the genres, threw them in a bucket, pulled out what we could possibly get at the film festival, because they don't let you choose what you get. You just you throw the genres in a bucket and you pull it out. So we got mockumentary and horror, and we said, do we want to choose both or just do one? And we end up doing them, combining them just to see what we can do. And we made a nice little film. It was like 10 or 12 of us. Yeah, so we may expound upon Mother Malice down the line, Mother Malice 2 or something. Definitely going to do an Inclination 2 and a Cogitation 2. So it's definitely, there's 3 movies there that will be reduplicated. But yeah.
What has been the biggest difference between working with artists and working with business people?
So I think the biggest difference working with artists versus business people for me is that artists get it. They understand that nobody really cares about what they do, because all artists are sensitive about their work. So they understand that part of it. They from what I've heard from artists, I've not been in the presence of an artist who tells me that everybody loves their work and everything is going their way, and that everything that they make is loved and celebrated. So when I speak to artists, most of them tell me that they have the total opposite. People don't care. People are uninterested, and that they are basically just making it by their willpower. And so that's how I've always approached it. I've always looked at it like, hey, there's a million great artists in the world that are not getting love. So why should I look for love as an artist? That's just my philosophy. I'm like, why look for love as an artist if I know so many great artists who, in my opinion, I've seen people who created on higher levels than I have because of the time and dedication that they put into it. So if they're able to do this and people still look at it like it's nothing, I'm like, okay, so I should not worry about anything that anybody has to say, because